No way for me to adequately express the love and admiration I have for this man. And everybody else's speeches have been so good. And after hearing some of the things some of you have said, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so underprepared. But I just want to speak from the heart today about someone who's very beloved to me, even though he's the only person in this body who has more Twitter followers than me. And that's Senator McCollister. He is beloved by me. He is beloved by the people of Nebraska. And here's some of the things the people of Nebraska had to say about him. Veronica Parrish on Twitter says, "It's the mugs for me," which I have here. Senator McCollister has these wonderful mugs with his name on them from his campaign that say, "Your representative owes you not his industry only, but his judgment, and he betrays instead of serving you if he sacrifices it to your opinion," from Edmund Burke. And I'll talk a little bit more about that important quote too. Someone else says, "He earns my respect with his reasonable, thoughtful, and politely considerate statements and questions in legislative debates." This is one that I thought of too. When Jackie was running against him in 2018, that was his opponent in the last legislative race. When Jackie was running against him, he told her that if anyone, including his party, used his image in an attack ad against her, he would sue them because he would never give permission for such a thing. He is a class act in today's political climate, colleagues. Someone else said, "Thanks to the senator, I now check myself before I condemn all Republicans." He had some other choice comments after that, but I'll stop there. But that's really an important legacy in politics for someone to leave, is someone like Senator McCollister, who cuts through that division and makes people think more seriously about the quality of the person before painting with a broad brush an entire group of people. Integrity, compassion, a commitment to legislating from a place of caring for people instead of partisan political doctrine. He's also the nicest politician I've ever met. And this might be someone who doesn't know me, but that's a nice comment too. Former Senator Laura Ebke says, "We served together for 4 years and we sat near each other for most of that. He is kind, thoughtful, and has carried bills that should cross party lines. While his approach frustrated some, he demonstrates both principle and humanity." There are countless comments that people sent me when I solicited people's thoughts about what they loved about Senator McCollister. And Senator, this is how you are seen by Nebraskans. This is the legacy you have built through your own behavior and your own actions and your own record of hard work that has spoken to people from all backgrounds, from across the political spectrum, and has inspired people to care about government, to get civically involved, to have hope and optimism for what this democratic project can be, and to feel like that maybe there's a place for them in this democratic project. Sarah Howard said she wanted me to mention this too, and I'd like to mention it for you. "Basically, I love him, and I think he's the tops, the bee's knees, the bomb.com. I love that he is just as likely to jam out at karaoke as he is to pick up a thorny issue. I love that he is so devoted to his wife, Deb, that he seems like a hero in a romance novel. And I love how brave he is to confront the failings of his own party, the party that has been a part of his family for decades, and how he insists on considering every issue through the lens of how it impacts his constituents, not just the party. He's just the best." So this is the legacy that you have built, Senator McCollister. And I also want to share not just what you mean to Nebraskans, but of course what you mean to me, since I have the privilege of the position of being able to give this tribute to your legacy, which is still in the making. I grew up knowing Senator McCollister's family because coming from another moderate Republican family, we kind of grew up knowing each other. And Senator McCollister came to my high school graduation party. And I didn't know him. He was a friend of my dad's. And he brought me a card. And I remember feeling really kind of inspired and special and feeling like somebody like John McCollister would come to my high school graduation in Blair, Nebraska, and give me encouragement for my future. I think he gave me like a little check, which was really nice going into college. And what he did made me feel like I mattered. And this is completely consistent with the stories that we hear from staff, former staff, school groups that have come through the Capitol. Everybody who has met John McCollister has a story about how he made them feel like they mattered. Not that, there was something wrong with them or that he had a judgment about them. And this also speaks to what a true man of faith that he is. He and his wife are active in the congregation at the Tri-Faith Initiative, which is a really special place in Omaha that brings together a Muslim mosque and a Jewish temple and a Christian church all on the same campus. And he's invited me to several events there where I was able to join him and his family and be a part of the culture there, and how much that represents what Senator McCollister is all about. It's being a person of integrity and being true to yourself and your beliefs while remaining open and keeping your heart open to the beliefs and experiences of others and not diminishing that and saying, it's not the same as me, so I don't agree with it. That's exactly what Senator McCollister is about. He represents the most hopeful and optimistic potential for this democratic experiment that we have in this country and that we have in Nebraska. This Edmund Burke quote that he has on his mugs, "Your representative owes you not his industry only, but his judgment. And he betrays instead of serving you if he sacrifices it to your opinion. If he sacrifices that good judgment to the opinion of the majority, he is betraying you." And this is, a trustee view of politics that says we're sent here to use our best judgment and our experience and our understanding of the law and procedure to make decisions for our constituents. And that has been a great inspiration to me. Sometimes he gets pushback or criticism for being a Republican who's willing to work with Democrats, but he has nuanced views on every issue. They're informed not by his party, but by his own independent views that he arrived at through examination. And most importantly, through that, he really walks the walk. And for example, I remember how when we went to Nashville for an NCSL conference, and many of you were there at that conference too, Senator McCollister came around to all the senators that were going to the conference, conservatives, progressives, everybody in between, and he made us each a folder that had printed off information about accommodations, and he started a group text, and he was trying to make sure that we could all get together for dinner and meet for drinks, and he knew what hotel everybody was in. And this was not his wife doing all of that or something like that you might stereotypically think. He truly was invested in making sure that we could come together and spend time together. And for whatever reason, COVID being a huge reason for this and political division that we may have growing here, that's something that we have lost, and we really need to take inspiration from Senator McCollister's vision and bring back and work toward having more of. And that time that we had in Nashville, and he was not the only Republican there, by the way, like there were many, and we had the best time. And those are the memories that I think I will cherish most from my time here in the legislature, and they were facilitated by people like John McCollister, who sets these kinds of examples. He's an includer. He brings people along to events, but he's not someone you can take advantage of either. He's this really nice guy, always smiling, always kind to everybody, but he's also very wily. And we've served together on the Government, Military, and Veterans Affairs Committee, and between working on that committee and work that we've done together on SNAP, on food assistance expansion in Nebraska, I'll think everything's going fine and we're all getting along to go along and everything's good, and then he'll smile and come over to me and kind of whisper something in my ear about how there's some strategy and we're going to end up fixing it. And it's a really great strategy and technique that I've learned from being around him. Just keeping your wits about you, but not letting anybody ever take advantage of you. Yes. Don't let anybody take advantage of you. He has a good humor about himself and his work, and he has worked so hard to improve the quality of life for people in Nebraska through the SNAP increase that we passed in 2021 when we overrode the governor's veto, and through driver's license for DACA recipients. This was a bill introduced by Jeremy Nordquist, but Senator McCollister prioritized the bill. He used his priority to prioritize driver's license for DACA recipients, and because of that, the bill passed. I am not sad today, Senator McCollister, and I'll say I won't miss you because I'm going to continue to see you all the time, and you will be in my life forever, and I will spend the rest of my years drawing on the experience and knowledge and lessons that I've learned from my time serving with you in government, which has been, really such a privilege. I am sad for the people of Nebraska who will not benefit from your vote in this legislature and your voice in this institution. These speeches today that everybody has given have made me feel sorry for this state because we are losing so much experience, from Senator Lathrop, from Senator Coulterman, from Senator Stinner, everybody, I could name everybody, who have so much subject matter expertise and experience that we will no longer be able to benefit from. When Matt Hansen's gone, who am I going to ask about the rules? You guys think I'm good at the rules. People ask me questions about the rules, and I'm like, I just learned it from Matt. I don't know. And it's scary to think about the future of this institution without the intelligence and experience that all of you bring to it. And John McCollister is very special to me and special to the people of Nebraska, and that is clear to everybody who follows anything about politics in this state. I want him to know that he is loved by people that he hasn't even met, that his legacy will outlive all of us, and he has made history in this state. And he and his lovely wife have raised 3 amazing children, and I'm glad that you'll get some time to spend with your family and your grandkids. And I just want to thank you for your service and for your integrity and for your example. Thank you, Senator McCollister.
Thank you, Senator Hunt and Senator McCollister.